After stage 4 bone marrow cancer, I had a lot of complications. One of them being low B12. And that mightn't sound like a big deal off the bat, low B12, but it is, and let me tell you why. You see, low B12 symptoms mimic low testosterone symptoms. So it's going to basically give you the same symptoms you have as if you had low testosterone. And if you try to play the guessing game with it, you're going to put yourself in more problems than you bargained for. This is why I like to preach, go and do your blood work and get your blood work done. Right here, you're going to see the first set of blood tests I do last June. That is when the symptoms really start to come down, right? And during that time, my biggest issue or my biggest thought was that I had low testosterone. That was my number one culprit, I thought in my mind. So that was the number one test I was begging the doctor to do. My testosterone, no, check the testosterone. But my doctor knew better. While he did check the testosterone for me because I wanted it so badly, he opted to test the B12 because he thought that this was the problem. And lo and behold, you could see the testosterone come back real good. 500 nanograms per deciliter. And to think that I wasn't eating properly during that time, like I was barely making maintenance calories during that time, that's a big thing for that testosterone to stay at that mid-level without the proper nutrition that I supposed to be putting into my body. So we knew that the testosterone wasn't the problem, my hormone profile wasn't the problem this time. We needed to check the B12. Now back then when I do the testosterone test and everything, my B12 was at the mid 300s. You'll see it here, right? I'll post it up for you. It was in the mid 300s, and we decided to start doing some B12 injections. We started daily, then we went to weekly, and after about 2 months we rechecked the blood, and lo and behold, it didn't go up, it actually went down. It went to the mid 200s that time. So honestly, I get fed up. I was like, I done with this, I go battle it out however it come to me and take it as it come in a sense. And that didn't work out too good because by the same month, June this year, I was literally in shambles. It was like all the low testosterone B12 symptoms that you will normally get multiplied by 100. So I went back to the same doctor, right? I went back to the same doctor and he was like, Jeremy, you know you stop your B12 regimen. I was like, yeah, I know that, but let me start it back. So he checked my blood work, and lo and behold, this time my blood work was 218 on my B12. So we needed to start immediately. So we started again, daily B12 shots. Then we went to weekly B12 shots and we rechecked the blood. And for the first time in about, let me say 10 years, my B12 actually normal. My B12 was actually 749. See the recent blood test right here, right? I'll post it up here. Most of the brain fog gone, my appetite coming back, I feeling like I could eat and stomach food again, and life starting to change again for the better. But we need to find out the underlying issue. Why does the B12 keep dropping? Because last year we get it up, got dropped. This year we get it up again. So we're going to find out why. And how we're going to find out that? Well, we need to do a specific blood test. Just because that the level is good now at 749, that doesn't mean everything else is good. It's good because we get it up to that level doing intravenous injections, right? So what we do by that, we bypass the stomach, no absorption, we go straight intravenously. Now that's working, and yes, it would work. We need to find out why I'm not getting any absorption. So the first blood test that the doctor suggests that I do is an intrinsic factor test. I hope that's the correct thing I'm saying. Basically what it is a chemical in your stomach or your body, right, that sends the B12 as like a mode of transport. So when the food you eat goes into your stomach, this chemical will take the B12 out and transport it straight to your lower intestine so that it will get absorbed into your body. So we're going to check and see if I have any of those or if I don't have any. So if you have a low count, it's basically irreversible. It have nothing you could do about that. There's no fix for it. You can take something that will make it better. All you could do from that point is be on intravenous B12 like once a month. And I don't really mind that once we could fix the problem, because if I'm feeling as good as I'm feeling now, I don't care. If you look at this from a cost perspective, and I end up having to do 1 shot of B12 a month, what you're looking at in an oral supplement, so something like a B complex, something like Jarrows, it's going to cost me about $250 to $300 TT for a bottle. That is a month supply of B12 oral tablets. And you run the risk of it not being absorbed in my stomach. So for $180 for a month for a B12 shot, I think that's the best way to go. So I don't mind. I honestly don't mind if it helps me feel the way that I'm feeling right now. But the problem with that is, you know, it always have a but, right? It always have a but. The problem with that is, we need to do that blood test and ensure that it's the intrinsic factor, the IF molecule, that not wherever and wherever and however it's supposed to go, right? And if that is not the case, then I'm going to have to star in a movie called One Guy, One Cup. Because I'm going to have to do tests that require stool samples, not blood work anymore. But it goes to show you, right, that sometimes everything is not as it seems on the surface. Because when I first started to get these issues, I was 100% convinced that it was low testosterone. And if I had gone the route of not taking any blood work and just go on TRT, just jump on something like testosterone or a steroid testosterone, or whatever I want to call it, I would have put myself in a very bad position. Because not only would the B12 still be a problem, it would not have gone up. I would have been just shooting my testosterone over 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, because without eating regularly, I was already at 500 nanograms per deciliter. So if I add on top of that, it's just making things worse. To be real, completely honest with you, I will do anything. I will do any kind of test. But you see this one that they're talking about, and this is why I'm hoping. And it's not a hoping that it is the IF and I have to be on the B12 forever. It's just that I don't want a tutu in a cup, dog. I don't want a tutu in a cup and carry it back to the doctor so you can check it. I have some sense of shame in my spirit. So let me make this kind of real clear for you, right? Especially if you're somebody who have a history with medical problems. You had a medical problem in the past, like myself, or you have problems eating, you're a vegetarian, you don't eat meat, these kinds of things. You want to pay special attention to your blood work. You don't want to let an entire year pass and you don't check these things. You want to make sure that your platelets good. You want to make sure that your red and white blood counts good. You want to make sure that your B12 level is good, your iron level is good. So playing the guessing games with these things is not going to work out for you in the long run. At the end of the day, your health is the most important thing when it comes to fitness and nutrition. You don't want to chase a physique at the expense of your overall health. You don't want to do that. And you want to pay attention to the signals that your body is giving you. If you're having a lot of problems with fatigue, if you're having a lot of problems with insomnia, with your ability to keep on muscle mass, with your ability to keep on weight as a whole, you're dropping weight drastically, you have brain fog, all these symptoms that will try to mimic or will try to trick your brain into thinking that you have low testosterone. It's not low testosterone, and you would never know that if you don't have a proper blood test done. Now, in the same token, I follow this guy called Ethan, right? And Ethan went from, I think, around 600 pounds and he under 500 right now, in the 400s. I follow him because Ethan is an inspiration to not only me, but to everybody struggling with weight loss and who need to keep an actual schedule on the things that they're doing, the eating, the training, and he just giving you that motivation and that drive. That's why I watch Ethan daily, right? But Ethan recently discovered that he had low testosterone and he did not know that. And that would not have been discovered if he didn't go and do the proper blood work. It didn't make sense for him to just sit down and say, I don't know if it's low testosterone, I don't know if it's low libido, I don't know if it's this. This guessing game not going to get you nowhere. So do the proper thing. Find a doctor that you trust. We talked about that in one of the previous videos, right? Find a doctor that you trust and work with them. Allow them to tell you the things that you don't know, because you don't know everything, right? With this good news, I have one positive thing. This means I could start back training properly. Well, I could even just start back training on the whole. I was looking forward to this for the longest while, since last year, as a matter of fact. And now that the time reached, I don't know, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Like I don't know where to start first. So I hope that everybody will stick and join me on this journey and see where I go from here. Because right now, I think that my whole body seized. You know when you don't put oil in a motor for a good period of time, how the motor does seize up, right? So I haven't been moving outside the physical labor and work that I do. I haven't been moving sufficiently for the day or efficiently for the day. So it's basically starting back from scratch again. This was probably the size I was when I started the second time. So it's basically starting back from scratch again. So I hope that you will join me on this journey. See if I could put on some weight, you know, put on some quality muscle. We're not trying to be Mr. Olympia inside here. Nobody here trying to be Mr. Olympia. But while we're looking for a good or the best physique that I could put forward, I want to do that in the most healthy way possible. Because my health is the priority and your health is supposed to be your priority also. So that is the most important thing right now. Thanks everybody for staying on this journey so far. I hope you stick around to see what it become. And I'll see everybody in the next one. It's Mongnal again. I'll see everybody later.